According to new research from the Journal for the Scientific Study of Religion, increased internet use might be linked to a loss of religious affiliation. So the study of this author spoke with the psychologypost.org. His name is Paul K. McClure of Baylor University. And what he says is, we know, for example, that internet technology has changed politics, businesses, relationships, and attention spans, but fewer people were writing about the internet's impact on religion. So they surveyed about 1,700 US adults, and they were asked about their internet use, and they were also asked about their religious affiliation, among other things. What they found was that increased internet use was associated with a decreased likelihood of being religiously affiliated and religiously exclusive. However, increased internet use was not associated with decreased participation in religious activities. So the main finding is that people are less likely to think that there is only one religion out there, and that exclusivity, that there's one religion that is correct, sort of that if you're exposed to the internet more often, that you are more susceptible to a pluralism of religious beliefs.
Yeah.
And then also, to make sense of these findings, McClure says, I argue that internet use encourages a certain tinkering posture which makes individuals feel that they no longer are beholden to institutions or religious dogma. Now, before I get your response, Amir, there's something really interesting at the end of the study that McClure wants to point out, which is that the biggest caveat is that I'm using data from back in 2010. When I started writing this article back in 2014, the data really wasn't that old. I had accepted it for publication in 2016 after going through the review process, but unfortunately it took over a year and a half to get it in print. A lot has changed since then, so it seems that technology moves faster than academia, which I think is just, there's a lot of different facets to this study, and you can find, if you just go to Psychology Post, scipost.org, they also have a link to the actual research study, which is really interesting to read through. But it's multifaceted in that his findings are compelling, but also that it's 2018, and he, like, this survey was conducted in 2010. Think of how much the landscape has changed. Vine existed in 2010.
Yeah.
It was a thing. People were getting famous and making money then, and now it's just poof, gone.
Yeah.
We had Obama as president.
This makes a lot of sense.
Okay.
This whole study, like, when you have access to this much information, you should typically, like, I mean, you're gonna be more just progressive on your outlook on religion and everything. At the same time, I saw a couple headlines saying that the further use of, like, the internet means more atheism, which I think at the same time, it didn't make me more of an atheist. And if anything, it made me validate my own faith and spirituality in different ways by finding things that kind of confirmed whatever biases that I had regarding my faith.
I think that there's so many answers that are just at the click of a button these days, and if you are exposed to that on the internet through your internet use and searches and wherever you find yourself in whatever corner of the web, it does sort of break open this possibility that perhaps you don't need an almighty deity to look to, because you can get all your answers. The deeper meaning answers are a little harder to find, but I'm sure there's an excellent self-help website that can talk you through it. So I do understand that correlation, but something that surprised me, and I wonder if you guys have this experience, is that religious corners of the web that I've stumbled into are incredibly insular and very community driven and robust, in the sense that if you are go through like if you like a bunch of religious groups on Facebook, say you follow a Christian youth group and you follow some of the organizations that they like, your page will be filled with a lot of religious information and community organizing, and I would think that would further you into being more involved in the religion. So perhaps that plays a part into that increased internet use was not associated with decreased participation in religious activities. I think it comes down to, and I didn't get that detailed into the study, but it'd be interesting to see what people are searching for on this internet use. Is it gaming? Is it social media? Is it being connected with people?
Yeah, I don't know. I think there's more people like me out there who may have started with an actual religious affiliation, but through just the way the internet has been, they've pretty much like kind of curated their own version of belief.
Yeah.
And I think that's a good thing at the end of the day. If like everyone is like can be happy with their own faith and happy with their own belief, that's a good thing, right?
I would say yes and no.
I mean, unless it's like Slender Man, but
right.
Then like, yikes.
I don't know if that qualifies as a religion. I think that the word curated is effective, and I think is correct in this discussion, because people do curate, whether it's political beliefs or the other things that they talk about, political beliefs, relationships. You do curate what you see on the internet and who you interact with, and sometimes I think that can be to the detriment, especially with religion, because you are only interacting with a very homogenous, insular population that thinks exactly like you do, that do not challenge your beliefs. And I think that the only way to have a good foundation is to have your beliefs challenged, and to have people sort of come for you in a sense and expose yourself to that. And
how have you dealt throughout your life when people have challenged your belief? Because like you're pretty strong in your faith,
yeah.
But like you're not like an extremist by any means. You don't get like angry about religion or anything. So like what was like your
Well, I think
thing?
that the internet actually played a huge part in me sort of reclaiming my faith, because as a queer person, I had to really go to like Bible.org and like all this.
There was a time when like you had lost your faith?
I wouldn't say that I'd lost my faith, but I mean, actually, sure. Like I just wasn't, I was like, this is not a belief system that cares about me and my community, so they can go fuck themselves.
Yeah.
And I didn't care. And then, the teachings of the Bible, many of them, although not all of them, do really inform how I treat people and how I view the world, and my efforts in compassion and empathy. And I missed that. I really missed it. And I know that part of that is also because I was raised in the church, and there is so much comfort to me in being raised in this like really enriching faith. And so I had to rediscover it on my own, and I used the internet to do that, to be like, all right, what do the teachings in the Bible actually say about gay people? And I know I say this in every video when it comes up, but just remember, Jesus never said anything. He never said anything, just never said anything about gay people. So just if anyone tells you that. I actually was thinking about doing a whole video on my personal YouTube channel about just that, because I just haven't seen it before. But I use the internet to figure out where my beliefs were and where I could be accepted in the sort of churches that would welcome me in, because I love the fact that Christianity to me is all about service and serving those less fortunate than you, and getting yourself out of your comfort zone and just caring for people. And I was able to do that through the internet. So it's an interesting study. And I would be interested to hear what you guys have to say in the comment section below. Were you surprised to hear about this correlation? How does the internet maybe affect your system of beliefs, your faith, whatever? Don't forget to subscribe to this channel, and we will see you next time on Pop Trigger.